What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 1967 movie, The Jungle Book. So, this movie follows Mowgli, who is being taken to the man village by Bagheera, the panther, and he was raised by wolves and stuff, but the tiger Shere Khan has returned to their part of the jungle and is going to try to kill Mowgli because he hates man. And so they start their journey to go to the man village, and along the way he meets all kinds of unique characters, the best being of course Baloo, who becomes an instant best friend to Mowgli and is one of the most lovable Disney characters of all time. But this movie is kind of episodic. He gets into situations with different animals throughout the movie and everything. It's kind of episodic. You don't really have a through line story, really, if that makes sense. But this movie, we all know how it ends. Baloo fights Shere Khan, almost dies, and then Mowgli and them are passing the man village, and he sees a girl getting some water. Her name's Shanti, we find out in the sequel, and he follows her into the man village, and that's the end of the first Jungle Book movie. This movie has been one of my favorites ever since I can remember. It's just such a fun movie. I think I saw it for the first time when I was like maybe 4 or 5 years old. I vaguely remember my first time watching this, and everything. It was one of the few memories I have with the grandma on my mom's side and everything, because I was so young when she died, but this is one of the memories I have. So I've always kind of held a special place in my heart for that reason, not to mention that I've watched this movie with everybody in my family, my mom, my grandma, so I have a really big special place in my heart for The Jungle Book. It's always been one of my favorite Disney movies, and I know a lot of people think I'm crazy for it because of there being so many other great Disney animated movies, but I think Jungle Book is my personal favorite, and it always has been. And if there is one animated movie aside from Toy Story that gives Shrek a competition for best animated movie of all time, to me it would be Jungle Book for me, because I love this movie so much. And part of it is I love the characters, and here Mowgli is just really likable main character, although he ain't even my favorite character, because like almost anybody who's seen this movie, Baloo is just absolutely perfect. He's probably my favorite Disney character of all time. I just love him. He's laid back, he's fun and everything. He's fun going and just really lovable character, and Phil Harris just breathes life into him perfectly and everything. And he also sings my favorite Disney song of all time, The Bare Necessities. But to show a little bit of how much this movie has meant to me since I was a kid and stuff, I have a couple of McDonald's toys from the 30th anniversary of The Jungle Book, which is when I would have seen it for the first time. I've got Baloo and Mowgli, and I have Bagheera somewhere, I just don't know where he's at. But I wish I could say these were my original ones, but unfortunately they're not. I actually picked these up at Vintage Stock. I wish that they were my original toys. I had the whole collection of them. I'd like to get the others again eventually, but yeah, I absolutely love this movie. The songs, every single song in this movie I think is really good. There's not one song in here that I dislike. My favorite one, like I said, is Bare Necessities. Like anybody who watches this movie would probably say this one or I Want to Be Like You. Those are the two biggest songs from the movie, and I like I Want to Be Like You a lot too. It's really catchy and fun, but nothing beats the Bare Necessities. It's just such a really fun song, and every time I listen to it, it kind of makes me feel like I'm listening to Christmas music. It kind of puts me in a good mood like Christmas music does a lot of the time and everything. And it's just a really, really fun song. And all the rest of the voice cast are great, but like I said, I love all the characters, especially Baloo. But like Mowgli is really good too, and I love Bagheera. As a kid, I didn't like Bagheera because he was the one that was so concerned about getting Mowgli to the Man Village and everything. And as a kid, you look at it through Mowgli's eyes. Looking back on it now, he's a really lovable character. And I think they actually did him really good justice in the live-action remake, which I'll talk about that movie probably sometime next week. I'll probably end up rewatching it and reviewing it. I'm planning on doing all of the Disney Jungle Book movies. There's 5 of them all together, so I did a double feature with this one and its sequel and everything. But Shere Khan is a really great villain. I do think that they could have done more with him, though. He doesn't really show up until the 3rd act of the movie, and I kind of wish that he would have been in here a little bit more and everything, been more of a threat like he was in the remake and stuff. But I still thought he was a good villain and everything, and the actor who does his voice, George Sanders, does a pretty good job. I think that's his name, but he did a pretty good job doing his voice, and the animation holds up pretty well. There are some parts where it has like the little sketchiness to it that I call it sketchiness because I don't really know what it's called, where you can kind of see the lines and stuff of the animation. It's kind of sketchy and everything, but it's not enough to ruin the movie. It wasn't as sketchy as like Sword in the Stone or some of the ones that have came out after this one and everything. You could tell that they were really trying hard to do good with this one, and this was the last movie that Walt Disney himself helped make and everything. But it's been my favorite movie ever since I was a kid. A lot of people think I'm crazy, like most people are like, you don't think Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin or Lion King is the best Disney movie? I'm like, no, Beauty and the Beast is a close second for me, but Jungle Book will always be number 1. And rewatching it last night, it reminded me why I loved it so much, and it was the first time I had watched it in a long time. I hadn't seen the Jungle Book in years, and I really love this movie and everything. It hadn't been like a real long time, but it's been a while. It's at least 4 or 5 years. It feels like a lifetime ago, though, because everything that's happened in the world since then. But this is just, like I said, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's one of my favorite animated movies for sure. If I were to do a top 10, this one would be probably in the top 3, like I said, because this one, Toy Story, and Shrek are my 3 favorite animated movies of all time and everything. And Jungle Book is just, it's so great. It just, like I said, that it holds up really well, and I think that part of it comes down to the characters. A lot of it comes down to the songs. It has some really great music, and that's what a lot of people remember from this movie is the music and everything. They say the music is better than the movie, and I don't really agree on that, but I have a huge bias towards this movie because, like I said, it's one of my favorites. This one is, and Tarzan and the Lion King were ones that I actually got to see in Disney on Ice as well in a triple feature, and the only one that they really did justice to the movie on was the Jungle Book. They skipped through a lot of the Lion King and a lot of Aladdin's story, but they did almost all of the Jungle Book story on Ice, and it was so cool and everything. And I used to use these toys that I just showed you all, pretending like I was recreating Disney on Ice with the toys on this little hand desk thing that I had and everything. I used to have a lot of fun with those. But yeah, so the Jungle Book is, like I said, it's a great movie. I don't really have any negatives with it, except that, like I said, maybe they could have done a little bit more with Shere Khan. That's really the only thing about the movie that I wish they would have done a little bit differently. Everything else I love about it, and everything. The animation is good, the songs are great, the story is great, and it's just a really, really great movie. So I'd easily give the Jungle Book a 10 out of 10 for sure. And everything, like I said, it's my favorite Disney movie of all time. Animation and non-animation wise, and everything. I'm excluding it from Pixar though, because I can't fully say that I like it more than Toy Story. But like, as far as everything else Disney, I would say that I like it more than almost anything else. It really is one of my favorite movies of all time, and in fact, I probably need to redo my top 10 movies of all time to add this one in there and everything, because I love it that much. I forgot how great the Jungle Book is to me and everything. Like I said, it's a really, really fun movie. It's a huge part of my childhood and everything. It's crazy. This movie came out the year my dad was born, and it's my and everything. But I love it as much as I do movies that have came out since I was born. Like this is one of those movies that's just, it's timeless, and it's a classic for a reason. Like, there's a reason why the second movie went to theaters instead of direct-to-video, because people love The Jungle Book and everything. Not as much as I do. I've noticed it a lot, that a lot of people don't, they love the songs but they don't love the movie itself like I do, but it is such a great movie and everything. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of The Jungle Book, and I hope you enjoy this video, and have a good day, everybody.